I met a gypsy.
It is tragic to know that it was so exciting and so publicized. The $1 million, the $500,000. I mean, my favorite part, honestly, was a guy like Colt Nichols buying a bike, figuring out. He told me, he's like,
that's cool.
He's like, my budget was $25,000 because the least amount of money I would make is 25. So he's like, I will not lose money if I keep my budget at 25. And that's worst case scenario. He ended up making his points fund was 90, and then each individual race paid some. So he probably made 110.
That's insane.
That was, to me, my favorite part.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Now you had Colt Nichols battling for 8th or something, or 6th in LA. It's a lot more compelling when you're like, dude, if he makes one more pass, that's $15,000 or something like that. But what's tragic is we've had this money the whole time.
Yeah.
We've had it. We will have it again. We'll have it 3 times a year. We can't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the final race at LA was literally perfect.
Oh,
it was
the
script, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chase Sexton. All right, he's winning the $1 million.
Yeah.
Jet's getting second, Kenny's getting third. Chase crashes. Shit. Now Jet's winning the $1 million, but if Ken Roxon passes him, he's winning the $1 million.
Yes.
You could not script that.
Nope. And the personalities involved, all that. Although everybody missed this. Jet passed Sexton and beat him in the first moto. Sexton was not going to win anyway. It would have been a 1-2 and a 3-1. It's odd. No one. To me, the most important.
So wait, say that again, because I thought
Sexton got third in the first one. He got third.
3-1 versus a 2-1.
Yes.
Oh,
so he was
1-2.
never going to win. And it was very odd to me how no one seemed to notice there was so much like, hey, Jet went 22-0, but Sexton is a Supercross champ. When they first got back on a Supercross-ish race, the first one at Charlotte, Sexton had his number. Sexton was better.
Yeah.
Second race wasn't as Supercrossy. When we get to LA, that'll be the most Supercross. Like, Jet passed him, caught him, beat him in the first race, and controlled his own destiny from there. I was like, that was really
undersold. Yeah.
I saw it on TV. I saw the pass. Sexton crashed out, so no one had a chance to ask him about how that went.
Yeah.
No, Sexton was not going to win.
Yeah, okay. I fucked that math up.
But it's okay because the storyline, which is the best part, is Sexton had it, but he crashed.
Yeah.
Which is like that, unfortunately for him, that is his character in this drama right now, right?
Yeah.
The guy who, he would win if he just didn't crash.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happened in that stadium on that night with the $1 million on the line, last race with Honda, you could not have scripted any of that better. And then Roxon and Jet had some heat because of the week before, and they end up being the two squaring off.
Dude, the sport's so insane with storylines. Dude, even I'm at the Honda rig before the race, like before the main, and I'm just like gutted watching Hunter. Like we were just hanging there for the weekend, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to say. I can't do it. Like I'm literally just. That's 500,000. Like he can't even line up. For $500,000. Like how gut wrenching.
I know.
Is that to be like you just got this injury? You could probably push it. That like this to me was another like overlooked storyline in it. Nothing against anyone covering the sport. You can't cover every story.
Yeah, it's hard.
But to me, how dope is it to have the leaders at Honda, Dazzy, that family, Emma, that group, to have $500,000 on the line and a kid that could go out and try.
Yeah.
And they just went, you know what? Your health is more important.
Oh.
Like, we've already won.
Yeah.
Like, that, to me, was so sick because, like, I was watching it. It was very touch and go.
Yeah. He rode again, right?
And at some point, they make the call and go, hey, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And even that, again, and the context of the money.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just go like, well, I already won this, but hey, there's still $500,000 on the line and you've just got to go out and ride for 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it is. You can do this, bro. Tape it, and then there's a story in itself of how forward thinking and how much these guys care and how smart they were to be like, $500,000 ain't worth my rider. $500,000 ain't worth my son. That's a dope story in sport.
Yeah, because remember, it's not winner take all. Like even third, I think, is 125 in. So with the way the points were, they could have easily be like, dude, if you're only 80%, you might still get third.
Yeah.
Just ride at 80% and take the 125.
Yeah.
Instead, he basically got nothing.
Yeah.
That's the real killer. Like, you went from you almost won it all to, like, I mean, even Roxon got $500,000 for second. Hunter got lost all of it.
Yeah.
But it is how forward-thinking they are. I think they're smart enough to be like, it's pretty obvious both these kids are good. The only thing that's going to ruin it for us is injuries.
Yeah.
So we're just mitigating all risk. Now, in this conversation that we just had, I believe in the deepest recesses of my mind, I might have remembered what I was saying about the money.
Yeah.
Back then, I think it was the context of this sport is so gnarly that it seemed like no amount of money makes it worth it. And they were doing it for the pride of, this is just what I do. I want to kick this dude's ass. I want to win. I want to be a champion.
And also, I think that
But I think I'm wrong, because these SMX races proved otherwise.
Well, but you know what? I actually think as well that there was a point that you were making that you said that the guys already retire too early.
Yeah.
I think that was another...
That maybe they had enough, quote unquote, they had made enough money.
Which I think is true in a sense.
But it's weird. Why do other sports... Bro, if they can make another 10 on top of the 500 they already made, they stick it out. And you know their bodies feel like hell by the time they're 35 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not afraid they're going to end up in a wheelchair, but they ain't feeling it anymore.
Not in the same way.
And they're like, I'm going to take this ice bath 3 times a day so I can get another $10 million after I made $500 million.
Well, the thing is, too, is I think that guys like Villo and Dunge.
Yeah.
I think Ricky not so much, like, because he had kids and he was like doing a lot of other business stuff and he got into the broadcast. Like,
so I tried NASCAR.
Yeah, NASCAR. So he did that. So I think like it's sort of not the same. I think I wonder too whether we got in this weird generation thing where it's like Ricky, you talk to Ricky and he's just like any dude. Like he could either be the world's best supercross motocross rider in the world, or it could be a dude that owns a tire shop in Tallahassee
100%.
and owns like 7 of them and just fucking is minted and he just has the sickest football watch party. Like, he could be both guys. Like, he's so worldly enough, you know? Yeah. And I think that that's because the generation that he came through, it wasn't the facility kid. It wasn't, he wasn't so groomed, quote unquote, you know? Mm-hmm. Whereas I think you look at like Dunge and you look at Villo, I guess Dunge they're sort of on the tail end, but it's like the focus to get to that level, it's like everything else goes by the wayside.
Oh, yeah.
And a guy like Dunge, you get him retired at 27 years old, and it's like, bro, I would kill to be 27 right now with the same job. Like, I would love to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be at 27, even starting this at 27. I was like 29, you know? 27 is so young.
So young.
So young. And you can't retire at 27 because you don't even know who the fuck you are.
No, man,
and
you go
who
nuts.
You're going to be. So it's like, you know, the Billy Madison thing where he's like, I can't wait till I finish school, Billy. And he's like, stay in school as long as you can. That's literally race. It's like, stay in this as long as you can. Plus, we need you. You know, like
that hurt.
We need you guys to be here. And then I think that enters the conversation of like, you know, maybe that's a dude where it's like, okay, your expectation is not to win every race now. And we're going to celebrate you for getting 5th. Like when Jeremy McGrath come back on a CR250 and got 5th. No one said, fuck, he sucks. He should hang it up. Everyone knew where he was at in his career.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and they're like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
He's still better than everybody except Chad, James, and Ricky. Still. They retire early thing, I hate to say it. The outlier part is they had championship streaks.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were just blaming Alden Baker back then. A lot of people were blaming the burnout, or they made too much money, or the risk, or whatever. Here's what Carmichael, Villopoto, and Dunge, who are the only guys that really retired at 27, have in common. Carmichael basically never got beat for a title.
Yeah.
All was going to happen is someday he was going to get beat. Villopoto won 4 Supercross titles in a row. I bet you if he had won 4 out of 6, might have been different.
Yeah.
Dunge won 3 in a row. Dunge barely won that last one. So I think it was really fun as drama people, gossip people, to be like, it's the Alden program, it's this, it's the pressure, it's that, it's the team, it's the money. It might have just been like, dude, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And if I leave now, I won't lose. So your point, Correct. If we could have somehow gotten to the point to be like, hey, next year just get fifth.
Don't have to win.
Just get fifth.
Or
just get fifth.
I want to live. I want to live in a world.
Yeah.
And I think now that SMX, the fusion of the two, the entities.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to live in a world where you don't have to go to every race.
Yeah, I heard some crazy theories on that you had, but at the very least, what Roczen did this year.
Perfect.
What was our gift?
Yeah.
We got Ken Roczen. I mean, a year ago at this time, were we sure Ken Roczen even liked dirt bikes? He was headed to that same 27-year-old retirement.
Sure.
No, he was headed in the same 27-year-old. Now, he's the happiest dude ever.
Partially, and riding faster than fuck.
Yes, we got this gift. We're going to get probably 4 years of this, 5 years of this.
Yep.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And partially because look what he got to do this year. He got to pick his spots. Everywhere he shows up, he's fast. Made a ton of money. Didn't have to grind himself into a pulp. He didn't win any of those titles. He won the WSX title. But no one's calling him a loser.
Nope.
Because he didn't win the motocross title or the supercross title at SMX. We're pumped to have him here. Yep. It was fine to be the third best guy or second or whatever it was.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.